DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, hope you're well. It is Sunday afternoon. It must be around 4. It's actually a little bit past 4 in the afternoon. And I'm kind of late actually for vlogging today. But, well, just the way it is. As you can see, I am actually outside with only a shirt on. And that is, what is it? It's because it's about 21 degrees Celsius. That's quite warm. But it seems like, this is a period where every week the temperatures and the weather changes quite a bit as we're going towards summer. And it's kind of nice, but it's rather unstable in that respect. Well, you can see here, like for example, the nut tree, the walnut tree, which is usually the last one to get its leaves, is coming along slowly. Over there, that's the pear tree, and you see how much it has, just spread out, all the leaves. And there's a few. Well, they're coming to the end of their time, aren't they? The tulips. Yeah. Oh, it was fun today. Kind of unexpected because, well, I say unexpected. It was a good day anyway. We had a really, I was going to say a great church service, which was very, very intense in the sense of the worship, the music. There's a lady that when she is the worship leader. Let me try and get the sun on the back of here so you can see me better. Yeah, that's better. When she plays, it's really, really enthusiastic, and it was a good time. And after we had the church service, second son of DC and his partner texted us and it said we're going to go to an Italian restaurant, which is kind of halfway between I was going to say it's not a pizzeria because it's very real Italian. So in the sense is that a lot of pizza places are not real Italian. They just make pizza, which is an invention. I was just going to say the way they make it is not the way they make it over there. Anyway, having said that, I had something called puccia, which is basically some type of, I was almost going to say a fried chicken sandwich, but well, if ever you had real Italian cuisine, and I don't mean Chef Boyardee, you know that Italian food is about probably the most diverse, and I would say probably the best in the world. It beats the French, but the French will shoot me now that I've said that. Anyway, yeah, so, and we were invited. So, didn't cost me anything. That was nice. Yeah, because, like everybody, everybody's going on about money, and we're retired. So, yes, we have definitely a lot less money, and we don't go and eat in restaurants usually. I'll make the food, or we'll make the food. Yeah. Yesterday, though, was an interesting event that we went to as well. There was a wine tasting in town. Now, we are Europe, okay? Even though we're not politically Europe, Switzerland is part of Europe, and when you live in Europe, you probably know by now that there's a lot of wine, a lot of grapes, and so on over here, and Switzerland is no exception. Now, our town has their own vineyards, and when we became Swiss, we became how would they call it in French? Bourgeois, or in German, Bürgers. Yeah. But it would actually mean like citizens. Now, in the I was going to say in the most complete sense of the word, not just citizens because we live here. So we have, you know, so we are basically have right of city. Anyway, look it up if you need to know more. But and so having said all that, is that there was a wine tasting, a free and no stress, no pressure wine tasting made by the town. There was 11 types of wine, red and rosé and bubbly and so on. And it's frankly all in some of the best vineyards in this part of the country. And there was food, yeah, a lot of food. And so when I say no pressure, sometimes when you go to these things, you're expected to buy, or you're expected to buy a certain amount. That was not the case here. And what was kind of amusing is that you had all the politicians that was there. Yeah, free food. Politicians always go to those things. Have you ever noticed? But anyway, having said that, it was quite interesting because I actually got to chat with the local politicians. I was nice. I was. There was one or two that I felt like not being nice to, but I was nice. You know what? I even thanked them for their service almost in the military style way, and you know, as we do with servicemen or ladies, because they were there, all political parties included, and it's not just two parties over here, there's a lot of them, and they were, you know, having a drink together at that wine tasting. And so we actually chatted, and I said, it's nice to see all of you together. And they laughed and they said, well, in social situations we can be pretty friendly. So we did laugh, a bit of a laugh, and said there's a big job coming up, isn't there? And they said yes, because you know they've got pretty different opinions at times. So the few that I had voted for, I actually said, you know, that I voted for them. But like I say, I actually thank the outgoing mayor, we call him the Syndic here, for his service. And he's not of my political persuasion, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he worked for 10 years for the town. Some will say he destroyed it, others will say he did a good job. I think he did his job, put it that way. So yeah, anyway, so having said all that, that was nice. That was yesterday. It was a completely unexpected wine tasting in that respect. If you're wondering if I bought a few bottles, yeah, I did buy 2. See, I didn't go out of it. We found some very nice ones actually, and yeah. And then after we came over here with the family and had a barbecue. Yeah, but it's one of the perks sometimes, I guess, of living in Europe. Maybe it is. It's also one of the perks maybe of being retired, is that on Monday I won't have to go off and do any job, but I will have a Spanish class. Oh yeah, well, that was something. Friday I had a Spanish class, and oh goodness, my teacher, he is absolutely the top. He's really good. And so we were supposed to have a subject, and we did, but we ended up talking about completely something else, about the philosophy, or the Star Wars saga and the Taoistic influence on the Star Wars saga. And so he was pushing me, I was going to say, to the limit, to pull out vocabulary and concepts and think in Spanish while I was talking. And he was recording all of this. So he put part of it up on his channel, and I basically downloaded what he put on his channel and put it up on mine. So if you're brave and want to go and listen to some Spanish, you can go and do that. Anyway, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad at all, actually. I was going to say, even if I had been speaking in English or in French or in German, I'd have been, thinking on that one, because it definitely was not something that I think about in my regular life. The differences between the Jedi's and the Sith and so on. Whatever. I mean, that's something probably that doesn't interest you, and to be frank, it doesn't interest me all that much either. But it was an exercise. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So is that it? I think it is, because I just saw the time. I'm certain there was other things I was going to talk about, and I just went off on a tangent. Okay, that'll be it. DC signing off. Take care, everybody, and have a great Sunday for what's left of it. Bye-bye.